Welcome to Ekimon channel. Now let's discuss how to use SourceTree for source code management, and also parallelly I'll be explaining the git commands. So now let's start the initial project setup in Bitbucket and SourceTree configuration. Bitbucket is nothing but the repository which you can just log in your browser using your existing Gmail account. And SourceTree is the desktop application which you will be using for source code management. Here in Bitbucket, I'm creating a repository. Just give the project name, repository name, and give the access level whether it is public or private, or you can select the readme file template. And now just create the repository. Now the startup repo is created. You can see the files here. Now let's see how to configure SourceTree. Make sure you have installed SourceTree application in your Mac, and then go to SourceTree preferences, accounts, and now click on add. Here I have selected host as Bitbucket and click on connect account. As I have already logged into Bitbucket account, it is asking for grant access. Just grant the access. Also here I have selected SSH key. So to create SSH key, it will be asking your machine password. There is also other way of authentication using HTTPS, nothing but using username and password. So you can choose either SSH or HTTPS. I suggest to choose SSH as it is a single sign-on. Now the authentication is successful and your account is being added. Now let's see git clone. Git clone space repository URL we need to give to clone the repository. Now let's go to the Bitbucket repository. There you can see clone from SourceTree. Soon after selecting, it will be giving the URL and the destination path. Select the destination path and click on clone. Now your repository is cloned successfully. Now let's go to the repository path and parallelly open the Xcode and create a new Swift package. So now I'm just creating a Swift package here and named it as git example. Also here in wait, select the path which you have cloned the repository. So just to make sure you're creating the project under your repository path. So now the project is created. We need to use the git commit command to commit the created project locally, and we'll be using push for pushing it remotely. So now let's see how to use git commit from SourceTree. So now I have added the project files to the repository path. Now you can see the files got added. Here green resembles the newly added files. If it is in red, removed files. If it is in gray color, those are modified files. So now I have to type the initial commit message and click on commit. Now the commit is successful. When you see the history, you can see the initial commit. But when you see the repository, you can't see the initial commit files. So now we need to do git push. Git push origin and branch name is the command we'll use. So from SourceTree, you just need to click on push button and it automatically push the code to the remote repository. So now let's go to the Bitbucket and just refresh it and see. Now you can see the Swift package which you have created. Now let's discuss git branch, how to create a new branch. So here you can see on the top branch. Here workspace is nothing but the local repository. Remote side is nothing but the remote branches information which you have. And here master is the by default branch which has been created when you create a project. And now click on branch and give the branch name which you want. So here I'm giving the branch name as child1, copying the parent. Nothing but the master is the parent branch and child 1 is the child branch. And parallelly, I'm creating another branch, child 2. So both child 1 and child 2 will be having all the code which master is having. Now go to the child 2 branch. Here under branches, when some branch is selected, you can see the selected mark for it. So now child 2 branch is selected. In it, I'm just creating a Swift file, child 2. So let's just check the source tree. Yes, in uncommitted changes, you can see child 2 Swift file is added. Now just create class child 2 and add some function to it. Generally in source tree you can see staged and unstaged files. Staged files are nothing but the files which we are going to commit. So now I have added function to the child 2. Now let's see what is git stash. Stash is nothing but preserving the changes which are not required for now. That means I just added child 2 Swift file. I only committed the file creation here and I didn't commit the function which I have added to the file. So for now I don't want it, so I'm just adding to the stash. Stash is nothing but preserving the changes which you don't want now but it may require in future in your local stack. Now let's see what is git checkout. Git checkout, name of the branch, is the command which we use. In source tree it is much easier than that. Just double click on the branch which you want to check out, or from remotes you can check out the new branch, or if it is something like local branches which you have to switch, then you just double click on it. Now let's see what is git merge. Git merge branch name is the command we use through terminal. So now I have branches child 1, child 2 and master. Now I want to merge the child 2 files into master. So I need to select the master branch and right click on child 2 branch, merge into master and click on confirm merge. Now the files of child 2 got merged into master. Now we need to push the master repository, then only it will be updated in the remote. So push to origin. Now child 2 and master having same files as we have merged the both. So now let's apply the stash which we have saved before. Just double click on it, apply stash. Now you can see the function which we have stashed got applied to it. Now let's just commit it. So this is the use of stash. Generally, if some logic you have written and you don't want it right now but it may be required in future, so stash is really helpful in that case. So I just checked out the child 1 branch in the same way and created a child 1 file in it and added some function to it and committed. Now let's understand what is git fetch. Git fetch we generally use to make sure we are up to date with all remote repositories which we are using. And if it is only single branch specific, we'll be using git pull. So in Bitbucket in child2.swift file, I made some changes and committed in the browser itself. But currently I'm in the branch of child 1, but I made changes to the master there. So when I click on fetch from all remotes, you can see master with a down arrow mark and 1 is the one commit which is ahead. As we have some changes in child 1, let's first commit the child 1 and push it off, and then check out the master branch and click on pull to make sure it is up to date with the remote code. So fetch will be just fetching all the remote repositories and give an indication, but pull is for pulling the respective remote repository code into the current local branch. Now let's see the history of each and every branch. You can see the current branch is nothing but the master which we have selected, and now I'll be explaining what is git rebase. Git rebase branch name. Git rebase and merge both integrate changes from one branch to another, but rebase compresses all the changes into single patch. Now let's see how to rebase. So in the same way of merge, let's click on master, right click, rebase current changes onto master. So here I want to rebase the child 1 branch. Now let's confirm the rebase. Okay, now the branch is 4 commits ahead and 1 commit behind. So when I try to push it, it is giving an error as it is 1 commit behind the remote repository. We need to make sure the local repository is up to date with the remote repository. So first pull it and then push the code. So now the rebase is done successfully. When you see the flow of the current branch, it is rebased. Now just add print command to the child1 file and make the changes to it. So now let's commit the changes. Now let's see what is git revert. So for example, you have done some commit and if you want to reverse the commit, so we need to just right click on the commit and reverse commit and confirm back out and now push it again. So reverse commit is the purpose we will use to roll out to the previous commit. So this is the way we'll reverse the commit. Here you can see the changed files on the right side when you scroll down. So first I have added some print command and again I removed it. Now let's see how to create pull request or nothing but the PR. So if you're working under a team of multiple people, you might need to create a PR instead of doing merge or rebase. So for that, you need to go to Bitbucket and click on create pull request and select from which branch to which branch you want to create the pull request and give title description for it. And here you can see the detailed differences from the child branch to the source branch which you want to merge. Also you can see the commits widget and click create pull request. So when you create a pull request, it needs to be first approved and then merged by the reviewer. You generally, if you're working in a team, you'll be adding the names of the persons which needs to be reviewed. As it is a single account, I can see the pull request here. So this is the pull request which I have created, and these are the changes which needs to be merged, and these are the commits for the pull request. So first of all, I need to approve the pull request, and if any comments or changes required, it will be rejected kind of way. Otherwise I can just go ahead and merge it. If you click on close source branch, soon after merging the pull request, the source branch from which you created the pull request will be removed from the remote. So now the PR is approved, so I am just doing the fetch. So now the master is up to date with the child 2 branch. So now pull the code into the branch, and now the pull request is merged successfully into the master branch. Now let's see what is git delete. Here different commands are there to delete the branch locally and to delete the branch remotely. So now let's see how to do it in source tree. To delete the branch locally, just right click on the branch without selecting it, click on force delete, which will delete the branch. So now you can see child to branch is deleted locally. Again, I'm checking out. When you have to delete the branch, make sure it is not selected one. Just right click and delete. If you have to delete remote, select both the options and delete. So now child 2 is deleted even remotely. Now let's see how to resolve merge conflicts. So to explain the conflicts, I'm creating a merge conflict here. Here in child2 file, there is a single print statement. So here I just modified the statement, and the current branch is mastered. So I just made the print statement changes and I'm committing it. So generally conflicts occurs when you are working in a team environment and when two people are working on this single file. So now I committed the changes to the master branch. Check out the child1 branch and making changes to the same child2 file, same function. So here I'm adding other print statement and modified the existed print statement. So now let's commit the changes in child1 branch and push it off. And now try to merge master into child1. So here occurs the merge conflicts as both the branches are trying to modify the single file. Now let's see how to fix the merge conflicts. You can see the exclamation mark if it has some conflicts. So now let's go to the child2.swift file and open the respective function where you can see the conflicts. And here head is the child1 branch, the changes in child1 branch, and the bottom changes are from master branch. So based on the requirement, you can remove the respective code and make the changes and fix the conflicts. Now the conflicts are resolved. Now we are good to go with merge both the branches and just commit it and push it off. So this is how we'll be resolving the merge conflicts, and few tips from my end to avoid the merge conflicts when you're working in a team environment is that you always make sure when you're starting with the work, make sure your branches are up to date with the remote code, and when you're committing something, you try to stash it first and then commit it again. So this is very useful when there are conflicts with the PBX files occurs. In some cases you need to reverse the commit to fix it easily. In that case, stash will really helpful. And happy coding. Please like, share and subscribe Techie Mom channel.